an early UN peacekeeping operation illustrates the inherent danger of entrusting the UN with power. The setting is the Belgian colony in Africa known as the Congo. In the early 60s, European nations fell under intense international pressure to give up their colonies in Africa and prepare them for independence and self-rule. To hasten this process, the UN formed a committee on decolonization. At the same time, the Soviets were working to gain control of these colonies for themselves. They sponsored so-called liberation movements and conspired to bring their frontmen to power through international pressure, bribery, and even terrorism. In 1960, Belgium yielded to the international pressure and granted independence to the Congo. The Soviets were ready to fill the vacuum. Patrice Lumumba was their man, bought and paid for with cash, arms, luxuries, and all the women, gin, and hashish he desired. With Lumumba as premier, peaceful independence lasted 1 week. Lumumba then unleashed a communist reign of terror against the populace. Men, women, and children were tortured and murdered. Amidst the terror in the Congo, the province of Katanga remained, by comparison, an island of peace, order, and stability. Under the able leadership of Moise Tshombe, Katanga declared its independence from the Central Congolese regime. "I am seceding from chaos," declared President Tshombe, a devout Christian and an ardent anti-communist. For a brief moment, the courageous people in this infant nation stood as the singular testament to the capability of the newly independent Africans. As a free people, they were capable of governing themselves with a sense of peace, order, and justice. Tshombe's misfortune, however, was to be pro-Western and pro-free enterprise. Nikita Khrushchev declared Tshombe to be a turncoat, a traitor to the interests of the Congolese people. American liberals echoed the Kremlin hue and cry. Soon after, the U.S. joined with the USSR in support of a UN resolution authorizing the world body to send troops to the Congo. The UN troops were used to assist Lumumba, the chief terrorist, in his efforts to subjugate Katanga.
UN troops advancing from all sides systematically wipe out all resistance pockets, and in the process, machine guns and bazookas killing many innocent civilians running for their lives to find cover from UN fire.
Smith Hempstone, African correspondent for the Chicago Daily News, witnessed the December 1961 UN attack on the capital of Katanga.
The UN jets next turned their attention to the center of the city. Screaming in at treetop low, they blasted the post office and the radio station, severing Katanga's communications with the outside world. One came to the conclusion that the UN's action was intended to make it more difficult for correspondents to let the world know what was going on.
46 doctors of Elizabethville, Belgian, Swiss, Hungarian, Brazilian, and Spanish, fired off telegrams to the UN pleading for a ceasefire. Later, they unanimously issued a joint report indicting the UN for atrocities against innocent civilians.
Tshombe takes reporters on an eyewitness tour of an Elizabethville hospital, which, although clearly identified by Red Cross markings and flags, had been bombed and shelled by the UN.
You have disgraced yourself, and you must be punished.